was built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break my glass, then this life's gonna end.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on
This is war with the enemy. Think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me. I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grieving. Put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily spreading like a rare disease, but I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the gas, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grieving. Put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah.
I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hates like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python. Grab what I like real fast, choke until I have everything. I attack everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it. me if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to My Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick. Let's turn on the cameras. Hello everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day here. I don't know, this world is crazy. This world is crazy. I'm crazy, but the world is even more crazier than I am. I don't know what's reality, what's not. I mean, I feel like I want to grab this balloon and take me away with it. But let's get to the news and let's jump right in and quick. This is going to be a quick show. Just a quick reminder, this evening, tonight at 7:30, I will be doing a show with our special guest, Tyson De La Cruz. He will be on here live and we will be discussing all different types of news topics and whatever that comes to our minds. We will be talking about it tonight. If you want to participate, make yourself present in the chat, and we'll grab the questions and we'll answer them from the chat tonight. So remember, tonight at 7:30 sharp, I will be starting the show. Then Tyson will make his way on, and he will be probably talking for about a good hour and a half to 2 hours. So it's going to be a good show. So I'm excited for it. So with that said, let's go straight to our first story that I want to review. I do have a few videos to go over, and at the end, we do have one video of Tyson De La Cruz that we got to watch. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. We're going to start off with Benny Johnson.
What's up, guys? Benny, a horrifying story on this dark Sunday with a sliver of light and a silver lining, perhaps a miracle witnessed today. The persecution of Christians. Christians remain the single most persecuted religion on earth. That's an absolute matter of fact. There are genocides that are ongoing right now against Christians all around the globe. You never hear about them. Nobody ever wants to talk about them. And maybe we should start asking why. When you search persecutions of Christians on Wikipedia, hardly a far right or Christian friendly site, you'll have to, break your fingers off scrolling as I am right now. And you can see the cursor. I'm not even halfway through the amount of Christian persecution that has been cataloged throughout the ages. It stretches on and on and on and on into the modern day. It's just a matter of absolute fact that Christianity is often hunted and targeted by darkness. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the case in Michigan, where an active shooter tried to mass slaughter a bunch of children inside of the church itself. You can see here that there's a Bible camp going on here in Wayne, Michigan. Cross Point Church is the name of the church. Ladies and gentlemen, the video is chilling, but there's a miracle hidden within the horror. Horrific footage of the church's
yesterday we had that shooting.
Live stream showed the moments that frantic families started running for their lives when an active shooter opened fire. Cross Point Church in Wayne, Michigan, was hosting its Sunday morning mass when the suspect, described by police as a white man, 31, suddenly rammed into the building and started shooting bullets at terrified congregation inside. Deputy Chief Finley Carter III of the Michigan's Police Department said the suspect identity wasn't being released at the time. They were still investigating the motive. The department confirmed unnamed suspect was killed on the scene by a church's security guard. One victim was shot in the leg. So, and this is remarkable, by the way. This is an article that has not been updated. The story of this is that a individual walked in with a semi-auto and decided to start firing, and he was immediately confronted by a member of the congregation who was armed. Good. He was killed before he was able to do take any lives, and then he was run over.
What?
The ramming happened from a congregation member. One of the deacons of the church got in his F-150 and ran over the shooter.
Wow.
Freaking unbelievable. Here's the moment, ladies and gentlemen, where chaos broke out in the church itself. Plenty of children there.
Oh my God.
On stage to be some type of Bible camp.
Come to the back. Come to the back, Don. They gotta come.
And
they gotta come. Come on.
So this would have been obviously easy targets for this monster.
Oh my goodness.
Were it not for divine providence.
That is scary.
And security.
Come on, Mary.
The smashing of the vehicle and the armed guard protecting the children, the hand of God, I think you could argue here.
Why
spokesperson for the police department said that no one was killed in this attack, but there were some injuries, and some people are at the hospital getting attended to, but nothing is life-threatening. The shooting occurred around 11:15 a.m., half an hour after the service had begun. Deputy Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigations, Dan Bongino, shared a statement on X saying that they were on the ground, the FBI was on the ground providing assistance and investigative support to Wayne County. One of the church's senior pastors, Bobby Kelly Jr., told the Detroit News that a member ran the shooter over, giving the security guard a chance to shoot them. This is what we're talking about here. Okay, so it has been updated. The original report was that the shooter rammed their vehicle into the congregation, into the building, but it was actually a member of the church that ran over the shooter with his truck. He, the suspect, was run over by one of our members who saw what was happening when he was coming into the church, the pastor said. He added that there were around 150 people there in attendance.
Oh my God.
For the Vacation Bible School service. Many of the attendees were children. The pastor said the congregation initially heard noises outside and they thought it was from construction. He said the church decided to hire a security team over a decade ago in response to accelerated violence against places of worship.
That is crazy.
The children, of course, are sitting ducks without protection. The congregation's leadership is planning a meeting to put together a plan for dealing with the tragedy's aftermath. When asked about the children who witnessed the tragic event, he said they were doing good, that the congregation was coming together to support one another. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Church security guards shot and killed the attacker. Church member ran over the suspect with a truck to stop the threat. One person, the security guard, was shot in the leg, but no other injuries. Reported the church was filled with worshipers when the shooting started. Heroic action that saved lives. Let's hope the wounded guard makes a full.
Why did it come on the news?
Amazing, ladies and gentlemen.
Why did it come on now?
Security guard outside of Fort Wayne took down a crazed gunman. And church guard ran him over with a Ford F-150. Roughly 150 people, including kids, were in the church when it happened. You can see it inside of the church in this horrifying video that's all over my timeline. Many children were present. Christianity is under attack. Anybody saying otherwise is lying. The assailant was killed. Thank God. Attacker in Wayne, Michigan, rammed his truck. See, this is out of date. But anyway, the point is that he was shot and killed. Stay vigilant, stay armed, and pray. Pray. This is what the sweet and humble church looks like there in Michigan.
Oh, it's a cute little church.
It just like breaks your heart looking at it and thinking about how bad things could have gotten were it not for this church having a guard,
community church,
and having people with their head on a swivel. Right? Security guard fatally shot the suspect. At least one person is injured.
You can hear Benny's kids.
Goodness. And here's Bongino saying that they are on the ground. If there's a manifesto, make sure Gretchen Whitmer doesn't get her hands on it. It'll disappear, and that's right. God bless the church deacon who ran over the would-be mass shooter. The church security guard was shot in the leg. Pray for recovery.
Man.
Pray for the Lord's discernment and quick action. Gosh, that would have been a horrible, horrible tragedy. God bless these F-150 drivers. Unfortunately, not the case in Syria. Horrifying, a Muslim terrorist blew himself up in a church during Sunday Mass in Damascus, Syria.
Damascus.
25 people are dead, 80 hospitalized, including 30 in critical condition.
25 dead.
Pray for Syrian Christians.
Look at this. Look at this.
Oh, it's so awful.
This is crazy, man. What is going on in this world,
this
man?
Is one that didn't get stopped. This has all happened. This all happened within an hour.
This is what's attracting the asteroid towards us.
Syria,
I'm
dozens
you guys.
killed. Syrian Interior Ministry says ISIS.
You guys are going to come back from the future and listen to me.
Pray for Christians around the world. Pray for the safety of our religion. Pray for God's hand of protection. What happened in Michigan could have been just like what happened in Syria. Could have had the exact same effects or worse. Pray for the faithful all around the world in the single most targeted, oppressed, and demonically attacked religion on earth, which is Christianity. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Sunday, and so get down on your knees and pray for God's guidance right now in this country. There's so much going on. And in these moments, you just got to lock in and know that God is in control. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.
Wow, that's crazy. You saw in Damascus, 25 dead and or how many people? I think he said 80 people in the hospital. Let me check. And this was a suicide bomber that just blew himself up in church in Syria. Dozens killed and injured. Syrian Interior Ministry says ISIS-linked group was behind it. How quick that they could say that, but not quick to deter this from happening. Actually, let me show you guys, because I don't think, let me go back over here. So, with Benny Johnson, I got to go back and because he has really good pictures and good stuff. So I like to go back and then just look at everything. Holy shit. Okay, 25 are dead, 80 hospitalized, including 30 in critical condition. They're going to need a lot of blood. That's going to be an alert for donors to go and donate blood. But a Muslim terrorist blew himself up in church during Sunday Mass in Damascus. Well, people are praying. People are this is very soft targets that these individuals are coming and attacking. This is where I say, this is the energy that I'm telling you. I keep telling you guys, it's not don't judge yourself. So when I say this, that the energy that we're projecting is attracting something from deep out in space. It's coming towards us. And the more we do negative, the more it comes towards us with a positive energy. And the fact that everyone continues doing what they're doing and they just don't learn every single day. They just don't learn. Nobody learns. It's these people wake up and then they're all right, I'm going to kill somebody. And then somebody else wakes up. It's I'm going to go blow up a church. Are you serious? Yeah. How I think everyone needs to have when they do a census, right? When they do the census, I think what they should do also is a full mental health evaluation of everyone that lives here in this country, just to see where everybody's at mentally. Because I tell you right now, we're living in really, really troubling times. And I'm letting you know right now, it's not going to get any better. It's not going to get better. Wow, look at this. That explosion must have been. Look how all this is like ripped away. Like this explosion was huge. Oh my god. That's disgusting. All right, let's go to more church news. We need to go to more church news because as there's sadness going on, there's even more sadness of church leaders abusing and it's just a big conspiracy going on with this one church, and the leaders were arrested in a multi-million-dollar conspiracy after FBI raids. So we're gonna watch this next.
Two church leaders with ties to Tampa are facing federal charges tonight. They're at the center of what investigators are calling a multi-million-dollar conspiracy involving money laundering, forced labor, and abuse. This follows multiple FBI raids this morning, including at a home in the affluent Avalon neighborhood in Hillsborough County. This was part of a nationwide takedown. Fox 13 is covering this investigation from multiple angles. Our Kylie Jones is at the federal courthouse in Tampa, diving deeper into the church and its leaders. But we begin with Aaron Mesmer live in Avila with more on the raid and reaction from neighbors. Aaron.
Yeah, Haley, and these neighbors were absolutely stunned by what went on this morning. Neighbors in this community, they woke up to helicopters and FBI agents raiding a home in Avila. And once they found out why those federal agents were there, it was even more surprising.
Some of you say, I don't have 100,000, but you have 20,000. You have 50,000 here, or you have 10,000.
That's video of David Taylor asking viewers to send money to his church. Federal authorities now say Taylor used donations to fund an extravagant lifestyle that included this massive mansion in Tampa's affluent Avila community. FBI agents raided the home Wednesday morning.
It's very surprising to hear that type of thing was going on again right in your backyard.
It's unclear what authorities took from the home. This view from Skyfox shows several cars lined up with gift bows on top. Neighbors say the 10-bedroom, 10.5-bathroom, 28,000 square foot mansion is one of the largest in Avila.
Because they were like, how could a pastor afford to live in a house like that?
According to the 23-page federal indictment, this house is one of several properties throughout the country purchased by Taylor's Kingdom of God Global Church. He's the pastor and referred to himself as an apostle, according to court documents. The indictment alleges Taylor recruited people to work at call centers, referring to them as armor bearers. Investigators say they were his personal servants who fulfilled Taylor's demands around the clock and were never paid. Taylor and executive director Michelle Brannon are accused of controlling nearly every aspect of the workers' lives, cutting them off from family and forcing them to take contraceptives. Human trafficking advocates say it's a devastating situation.
And you really had every aspect of human trafficking. You had individuals who were, brought to a facility that they couldn't leave. They weren't being paid. They had production goals that they had to meet.
And authorities say if the workers failed to reach Taylor's monetary goals, they faced punishment, including public humiliation, food and shelter restrictions, sleep deprivations, and physical and psychological abuse. The Crisis Center of Tampa Bay's CEO says these victims will likely face a long recovery. She says there's another lesson every community can learn from this.
This can happen in one of our most affluent zip codes in Hillsborough County. It can happen in your backyard. It can happen in my backyard.
As for the folks who lived with alleged human trafficking, fraud, and money laundering happening in their backyards.
I hope it's not true, but if it is, he deserves everything he's going to get.
This is crazy.
And there was also what appeared to be a federal command center set up just north of here at St. Joseph's Hospital in Lutz. Experts say if there were any human trafficking victims at this property, they likely would have been taken to a nearby hospital for care. Haley?
Let's hope they can get all the help they need. It sounds like they have been through quite a lot. Aaron, thank you.
That is wild. I'm telling you, they're abusing the churches. They're taking money. These pastors are really they preach the good word, but then they do the devil's and right in front of your faces. And people donate money, thousands upon thousands of dollars. They just throw at this guy. And look at the mansion. Let me go back. Let's go back here. We're gonna go back over here. Let's go ahead and
let's hope they can get.
Look at this. that look says it all. Look at that hair. Look at that hair. Holy smokes. I'm not high enough for this. I mean, I'm sorry, the good Lord, the higher power, but I'm not high enough. Like I'm telling you, Jesus, when I die, when I go up there, I am gonna slap you, but we are gonna smoke together. And we're gonna smoke. You're gonna have your own joint. I'm gonna have my own joint because I don't share joints, and I don't care if it's even Jesus. I'm not gonna share with him. He have his own. But people that look like this, like this man is holding a lot of like secrets. This man is not a good man, and yet he was preaching the word of the Lord, right? Taking advantage of the good Lord and the good word, and profited to have. How the hell, as a pastor, right? Let's go ahead and go back. Let me see. I'll find it. Look at this face. And then look at his website. Look how his hair is in the website. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What is this? What is this? Is that brushed in? Is that like photoshopped in? Is this hair photoshopped in? I'm just stating the obvious because this is what the arrest picture looks like. Yo, you paint this guy as a clown? Yo, he'd be the perfect clown. He would be a perfect clown. Like you just paint this face all white and put red and all this craziness on his face, and he would look like a clown. And the fact that he was trafficking and taking people's money, like that's disgusting. Like, and then he had cars outside of the home that I guess he was gonna give them away. Like, you're just a fucking pastor. Are you kidding me? Like this home, look at this home. Look at that. Who the fuck how could he afford that? Let me see if there's a better picture of the house, because I did see like a better picture with the. I just gotta find it. Maybe give me a second. I may find it. I just gotta go slow, and then I can't keep this damn cursor straight. And then this is what he looked like begging for money. This is what he looked like asking for people for donations. Here, let me rewind it back so you can hear him. I'm gonna play it so you guys can hear it.
Some of you say, I don't have 100,000, but you have 20,000. You have 50,000 here, or you have 10,000.
That's video of David Taylor asking viewers to send money to his church. Federal authorities now say Taylor used donations to fund an extravagant lifestyle that included this massive mansion in Tampa's affluent Avila community. FBI agents raided the home Wednesday morning.
It's very surprising to hear that type of thing was going on again right in your backyard.
It's unclear what authorities took from the home. This view from Skyfox shows several cars lined up with gift bows on top. Neighbors say the 10-bedroom, 10.5 bathroom, 28,000 square foot mansion is one of the largest in Avila.
Look at, first of all, it's one of the largest in that area. But look at the pool. Look at the property. Look at that property. Not her. The property. I'm trying to get it like the right little frame if it gives it to me. Okay. That's the best I can do with that. But look at that property. As a pasture to make. Okay, hold on. I'm not high enough. I'm not high enough. The fact that he was taking advantage of people. It just really boils me inside. The fact that we're trafficking people, it's not good. It's not good. We could continue listening to it because it's not.
Because they was like, how could a pastor afford to live in a house like that?
According to the 23-page federal indictment, this house is one of several properties throughout the country purchased by Taylor's Kingdom of God Global Church. He's the pastor and referred to himself as an apostle, according to court documents. The indictment alleges Taylor recruited people to work at call centers, referring to them as armor bearers. Investigators say they were his, quote, personal servants who fulfilled Taylor's demands around the clock and were never paid. Taylor and executive director Michelle Brannon are accused of controlling nearly every aspect of the workers' lives, cutting them off from family and forcing them to take contraceptives. Human trafficking advocates say it's a devastating situation.
And you really had every aspect of human trafficking. You had individuals who were, brought to a facility that they couldn't leave. They weren't being paid. They had production goals that they had to meet.
And authorities say if the workers failed to reach Taylor's monetary goals, they faced punishment, including public humiliation, food and shelter restrictions, sleep deprivations, and physical and psychological abuse. The Crisis Center of Tampa Bay's CEO says these victims will likely face a long recovery. She says there's another lesson every community can learn from this.
This can happen in one of our most affluent zip codes in Hillsborough County. It can happen in your backyard. It can happen in my backyard.
As for the folks who live with alleged human trafficking, fraud, and money laundering happening in their backyards.
I hope it's not true, but if it is, he deserves everything he's going to get.
Yeah, here.
And there was also what appeared to be a federal command center set up just north of here at St. Joseph's Hospital in Lutz. Experts say if there were any human trafficking victims at this property, they likely would have been taken to a nearby hospital for care. Haley?
Let's hope they can get them all the help they need. It sounds like they're through.
Listen, what a horrible time for churches. And there's so many out there like that take advantage of people. And then they just self-enrich themselves with like all these donations. Like this is supposed to be donation that goes towards the church for improvements and pay salaries and stuff like that. But it's for the church, right? This guy was just taking everything. He was just taking everything, and that house, holy smokes! I thought I didn't even think that was here in the United States. I thought it was like UK. It was like one of these little castles. I'm like, what? How the hell can you afford that? Like, how? And then he had all these cars lined up with bows. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's really crazy. What's happening with churches these days? This is getting disturbing. That's the only thing that I could just say. It's getting disturbing. So let's go ahead and go to other news here. Let's check this one out. Let me set it up. Here we go.
More local leaders are coming out against President Trump's threat to send the National Guard to Chicago to combat crime.
We're now hearing Mayor Johnson is planning to brief city council members on what he'll do if that happens. Eric Rung has more.
That briefing, according to sources, is supposed to happen tomorrow. Meanwhile, the chorus of opposition against the president's plan continues to grow.
Another day, another press conference at Federal Plaza.
I know none of us thought that in the year 2025, the President of the United States would choose to spread lies and fear about our communities and then use the National Guard to attack all of us.
Today, it's community and elected leaders from all levels of government.
Donald Trump wants to make sure that he moves us and shoves us into submission so we
What the hell's wrong with these people?
Not doing a rally or a protest or a press conference is exactly what
How do they think like this?
We are not going to give him that pleasure.
The president
How
yesterday
do they
at a
think like
cabinet
that?
meeting
I don't
continued
understand.
taking
They're
shots
like
at
Democrats.
Chicago.
Everybody knows Chicago is a hellhole right now. Everybody knows it.
The White House even issuing a bullet point list of why Chicago needs federal intervention.
I would love to have the governor of Illinois call me and say, look, we have a problem in Chicago. We will stop that problem in Chicago in 2 months, maybe less, 2 months. We'll stop it.
What we are doing in the state right now is making sure that the president and those folks in Washington who are thinking about sending troops on the ground in a major American city,
This guy's an idiot.
is that they understand that no one wants them to come, that crime is down.
Statistics match what the governor and mayor have been preaching since sending in the National Guard was mentioned by Trump last week. Overall, violent crime is down significantly year over year. 2024 did see 580 homicides, but that number is down from its most recent peak in 2021 when homicides hit a little more than 800.
The city of Chicago is not calling for the occupation of our city, right? It's illegal and it's unconstitutional.
I have the right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States. If I think our country's in danger, and it is in danger in these cities, I can do it.
The governor and mayor have called the threat a distraction and political theater. At least one alderman, however, says it's the city and state putting on the show. 15th Ward Alderman Ray Lopez issuing a statement on X saying in part, quote, Chicago absolutely needs the federal government's increased intervention and support to address human trafficking, drug cartels, illegal gun trade, fueling street gang battles, and yes, the dangerous actions of violent non-citizens.
Wow. The Times is reporting that there are plans to use the Naval Station Great Lakes near Waukegan as a base of operations, not only for the National Guard, if they are deployed here, but also for Homeland Security agents.
Wow.
In Federal Plaza, I'm Eric Rung, WGN News.
That's wild. All right, let's go to this one here.
Now, reporters have been out in Chicago asking locals about what crime is really like there. And this CNN reporter, she was left shocked and essentially speechless that there are people who want the National Guard to be sent in.
You want to say, let me set
My
this up.
first reaction was that this is a good thing. I think that the governor as well as the mayor should be on board with it just so we can get a bit more of security in Chicago the way that we need.
The crime has dropped since 2024. Do you feel like the city feels safer?
No, not at all.
No,
especially with the police being defunded.
No, she just shuts down this bizarre media narrative that there's not really a bad crime problem. Crime's going down. We shouldn't have to worry about it. But that hasn't stopped this panelist on CNN from having a meltdown about the crackdown. Here is Tiffany Cross.
Can I just say really quickly, Abby, because anytime that we play something from Stephen Miller, it would be journalistic integrity to point out that he is a white supremacist and he is the brainchild behind this policy. That's not my opinion. That's actual facts. And for him to purport lies from the Oval Office as a white supremacist,
I don't know.
it should be pointed out. It's reporting. Washington Wall Street Journal is all reporting.
I want to address what
And CNN also didn't push back when Democrat Jamie Raxon went on the network to make, well, a very excellent point that he's opposed to what Donald Trump is doing because crime's just part of our history.
I mean, there are lots of Republican cities and towns struggling with crime. Everybody is across the country. Always, crime has always been part of our history.
Yeah, it's always been there. Joining us now is Michael Kroger. Michael, thank you for joining us. I mean, what's your reaction to the coverage we're getting on CNN and MSNBC to Donald Trump's crackdown?
Well, Washington's known worldwide as a very dangerous city, one of the most dangerous capital cities in the world. People don't want to go to Washington. When they go, they want to go in quickly and go out quickly. These Democrats are totally delusional, Gabriella. I mean, the first thing to know is anything Trump does, they'll oppose. So you expect nutters like Rachel Maddow to say the things she's saying. Secondly, you've got to remember amongst the American left and the left worldwide, there is sort of an anarchist element to the hard left, which wants to break down institutions, the churches, the schools, the law enforcement authorities, the police, the military, etc. The anarchists want a destruction and a desecration of American society. That's part of what the left wants to do. In order to have some kind of dramatic left-wing change, you've got to break down the current institutions of power. So anyone that tries to come in and reinforce the police, reinforce law and order, is immediately imposed by the hard left, and Maddow and these other very strange people these days are very much part of that thinking. But what Trump's done is is also highlight the weakness of Democratic mayors and governors, and that embarrasses the Democratic Party. But these people are delusional, and they are going to the extremes of American politics to defend crime as part of American society. Well, Trump's trying to do something about it, and for that, no doubt he'll get plaudits long term.
That's wild. It's just wild. That's we have one report. We don't want them. We don't want them here. Don't stay away, Trump. Stay away. Stay away. Oh. And then you have another one. It's like, no, we need them. Well, it's about damn time. It's about damn time. Like, the true citizens of that city will tell the truth. I feel like Chicago is kind of like its own little, like, outside the United States type of feel. It's like, I know they try to keep it like their own little country, but they're funded by the United States. And anything that the president says, they're going to go against, no matter what. It's like, I could bring water and they'll bring oil. Are we going to blend? We do sometimes if it's really hot, but other than that, this is a mess. This is a mess. Society is a mess. And it's just sad, That's all I could just say. It's sad. Let's go to some more sad news. This is gonna be a sad one. This is gonna suck. But we gotta watch it, so let me set it up here. I hate sad news, It just but we still gotta go through it, because if we don't watch, we don't know, You gotta watch even the sad ones. And it's back to baby Emmanuel.
More about the Riverside. We're learning more about the Riverside couple accused of killing their 7-month-old baby.
Eyewitness News reporter Rob McMillan was at a news conference just a few minutes ago. Joins us now with the very latest about what we know. Rob.
Well, the Riverside County District Attorney just wrapped up that news conference within the past hour. Not many specific details on this case, although he did indicate that they believe that baby Emmanuel died after child abuse over a prolonged period of time. They also indicated they have a general idea of where his remains might be, but at this point, they have not been recovered. Jake and Rebecca Haro, the parents of a 7-month-old baby who's been missing for nearly 2 weeks, now facing murder charges. Both of them making their first court appearance yesterday afternoon, shackled and handcuffed. As for baby Emmanuel Haro, now presumed dead, his body yet to be recovered. This morning, both Riverside and San Bernardino County law enforcement speaking publicly about the case for the first time.
It's appropriate to have a press conference because it was the defendants in this case that had a press conference first. And they did so in order to tell the public, the media, and ultimately law enforcement that their child had been kidnapped, when in fact that's not what occurred.
It all started the night of Thursday, August 14th, when Rebecca Haro claimed that she'd been attacked in this Big 5 parking lot in Yucaipa. When she came to, she claimed her little boy had been kidnapped. The very next morning, Rebecca appearing to make a tearful plea for help.
Please, I'm begging you. Please, God, please.
Less than an hour after our interview at the family home, many of them then showing up at the Big 5 parking lot saying they were back there trying to organize a search effort. But it wasn't long before people started to wonder whether this couple was telling the truth. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department saying Jake and Rebecca Haro were no longer cooperating with detectives. Others noting that in our first interview with the family, Jake Haro was already talking about his son in the past tense.
He was a healthy baby. He was crawling, he was kicking, he was playing with his toys.
At the news conference today, District Attorney Mike Hestrin referencing a case from 2 years ago in which Jake Haro pleaded guilty to child abuse on one of his other children, but did not go to prison.
The judge decided Mr. Haro deserved an extra break and gave him probation and basically 180 days of work release, which ends up being like community service.
The district attorney calling that judge's decision outrageous. Both Jake and Rebecca Harrell remain behind bars, bail set at $1 million. Live in Riverside, Rob McMillan, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, let's keep it moving.
Breaking news. Prosecutors say the father of a missing 7-month-old boy should have already been in prison before he allegedly killed his infant son. Thank you for joining us for the KTLA 5 News at noon. I'm Lou Parker.
And I'm Lauren Lister. Glenn Walker has the day off. Law enforcement officials are sharing new details about the Inland Empire couple accused of killing their young child.
KTLA 5's
Hi, Lou and Lauren. Pretty good idea of where Emmanuel Harrow's remains are. They wouldn't go into detail because they're worried it will hinder the investigation, but they say there's a good amount of evidence leading them to search a specific area. What I can tell you is a lot of questions were asked today that kind of happening nearly 2 weeks ago. They wouldn't elaborate on what that evidence is, but they say it proves Emmanuel was severely abused over a period of time and that both parents would have known about that abuse. They described the baby's father, Jake, as an experienced child abuser, and they say he should have gone to prison for his last child abuse case. Now, a judge granted Jake probation, which is a ruling they call outrageous and detrimental to the current case.
When we talk about why we're here in the first place, that we believe someone murdered baby Emmanuel, who should still be in prison, but we have this unbelievable love for criminals, believing that they're somehow victims, and now we're all traumatized by it.
That judge had done his job as he should have done, Emmanuel would be alive today. And that's a shame, and it's an outrage.
Wow. That is a shame.
Now, sources told News Nation that Jake Harrow made a chilling confession to a fake inmate posed as his cellmate. Now, those sources say Jake admitted to killing his son Emmanuel and dumping his body in a trash can at his home. Now, I did ask about those reports during that press conference, and the district attorney denied that that happened, saying there's been no confession made in jail from either parent. We also asked about what, if anything, the parents have said to investigators thus far, including what brought them to that specific area that was searched over the weekend. They said there's been some level of cooperation from the parents, but they wouldn't go into detail about what exactly was said. Now, they said there has been hundreds of hours spent going through some of that forensic data and also combing the area, but they say they cannot tell us exactly what is leading to that search area. Again, they do say they had to get the search warrants, the forensic data helped them in this investigation. But again, hours spent searching for baby Emmanuel's body, who they believe is now dead. Now, Rebecca and Jake Harrow are also charged with filing a fake police report. They said really that's the reason they were having this press conference to begin with. They said the couple came out 2 weeks ago and they claimed their baby was kidnapped, which they found is not true. They say there's a lot of evidence that suggests otherwise. So they say they wanted to come out here, debunk some of the rumors that are circulating about the case. Obviously, it's getting a lot of attention nationwide from people near and far, just hoping that baby is found. But those charges that the parents are facing, they carry a minimum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. One more thing I do want to mention that is during that press conference, they said the death penalty is actually not on the table. So before we reported that being charged murder with malice qualifies for the death penalty, but it doesn't appear that prosecutors will be seeking that in this case. The DA says they're not offering a plea deal to either defendant. They want a trial and they want justice for the family. Of course, we'll keep you updated if there's any developments in this case. But for now, reporting live in Riverside, Jillian Smuckler, KTLA 5 News.
That's disgusting. And there's a chance this kid could be burnt. There's a chance this kid could be like dismembered. There's a chance this kid will never be found. He may never be found. That's just, it's so sickening. just to think about it, it makes me sick. I don't know how it makes you, but I don't feel good. It's just disgusting. All right, so we're gonna wrap up the show with one last one, and I usually end the show with Tyson De La Cruz because he's just a friend of the show. He is going to be on with me later on today at 7:30 Eastern time. I'll have Tyson on here. We'll be talking about all different types of topics. So you guys can interact with us in the chat. And I highly recommend you guys come back this evening and just ask us some questions and we could talk about it. Because we're going to talk about certain things that's going on and so forth. So tonight, 7:30, be here. And we'll go ahead and set this up here. I'm going to watch Tyson De La Cruz.
The Drug Enforcement Administration announced a massive drug bust connected to a major Mexican cartel.
Oh,
19
shit.
people have been charged, including Washingtonians and foreign nationals.
America, we just witnessed a takedown of a massive Sinaloa cartel operation that was flooding Washington state with enough fentanyl to kill everyone in Seattle-Tacoma metro area. The DEA just announced the arrest of 19 people connected to a drug ring ran by two brothers operating from Mexico, Rosario Abel Joaquin Camargo Balanos and Francisco Fernando Carmano Barlanas. These guys were using semi-trucks to transport hundreds of pounds of fentanyl, meth, cocaine, and heroin from Mexico through California all the way up to Whidbey Island. But here's the kicker. This operation was so sophisticated, they had American nationals and Mexican nationals working together in a network that stretched from the cartels in Sinaloa to the street dealers in Tacoma.
That's wild. That's wild.
Federal authorities say Mexican drug cartels are operating in the United States, some 1,200 miles from the southern border.
Absolutely. Sinaloa cartel and the Jalisco cartel are both in Washington state.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This bust exposes exactly how Mexican cartels have turned Washington state into their own personal distribution center while our communities pay the price with record overdoses. Let me break down this operation because it shows how deep the Sinaloa has penetrated into American communities. These two brothers were running a network from Sinaloa, Mexico, using a combination of semi-truck drivers, local distributors to flood Western Washington with drugs.
Federal investigators say the ring funneled drugs from Mexico into Washington using semi-trucks and couriers on commercial flights.
This transnational criminal organization not only infected our community with its illicit drugs, but also guns and the potential violence inherent with their business.
The scale of this operation is absolutely staggering. Over the course of their investigation, law enforcement seized approximately 465 pounds of methamphetamine, 269 pounds of fentanyl, 23 pounds of cocaine, and 6.4 pounds of heroin. The fentanyl alone could have produced 6.9 million lethal doses of fentanyl, enough to kill every person living in Seattle-Tacoma metro area.
In just the last 36 hours, law enforcement has recovered almost 6 pounds of fentanyl, 15 pounds of meth, and 60 pounds of marijuana, along with heroin and cocaine, as well as 23 firearms.
But as you know, this isn't just about drugs. The DEA seized over $651,000 in cash and approximately 11 firearms during the investigation. 5 defendants are specifically charged with firearm violations, including carrying guns in the furtherance of drug trafficking and illegal possession of firearms due to their criminal history. This operation, particularly sophisticated, is how they distributed the drugs through Western Washington. They weren't just hitting major cities. They were reaching as far north as Whidbey Island and Arlington, and as far south as Tacoma and Lacey area. The key player in their transportation network was Isabel Bararel Zapin, a 44-year-old Mexican citizen who worked as a truck driver. This guy was using a commercial vehicle to transport massive loads of drugs up the I-5 corridor. He was arrested on state charges in January 2024 and is now facing federal charges in the 37-count indictment.
The group is accused of moving shipments north from Mexico through California.
Regionally and nationally as well.
And investigators believe two brothers, active members of the Sinaloa cartel. were pulling the strings from abroad.
The local distribution network included both Mexican nationals and American citizens. Jose Maria Ortiz and Juan Carlos Garcia Orales, both Mexican citizens, worked as carriers and distributors. But they also had American citizens like Carmen Davis from Everett, Taylor Johnson from Shoreline, and Israel Davis, also from Shoreline, working as redistributors. This shows you how the cartels operate. They don't just use illegal immigrants. They collaborate with corrupt American citizens and turn them into drug in their own communities. These people were poisoning their own neighbors with cartel money. To understand why this bust is so significant, you need to understand the scope of Washington's fentanyl crisis. In 2023, there were 3,477 overdoses in Washington state, with fentanyl involved in 76% of those deaths. King County alone reported over 1,000 overdose deaths last year.
Both these men directed this group that dealt death and despair in our community. This is what we expect of the Sinaloa cartel, which is why DEA is putting every resource at our disposal towards ending the reign of drug terror in the Pacific Northwest and around the country.
But CDC data from August 2024 shows Washington had the fourth highest increase in reporting drug overdose deaths among all U.S. states, with a 10% increase from April 2023 to April 2024. Early 2025 data shows spikes in drug poisoning deaths, with some counties experiencing more than double of their recent averages. This isn't just statistics. These are real people dying in Washington communities. Mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, all victims of the Sinaloa cartel's business model that treats American lives as acceptable casualties for their pursuit for profit. The fact that operations like the Camargo Brothers networks were able to operate for years shows deeply how the cartels have penetrated into American communities. They're not just smuggling drugs across the border. They're establishing permanent distribution networks in our own cities and towns. The takedown of this network involved a massive coordinated effort. During their arrest on August 4th, 2025, law enforcement seized 7 pistols and 3 rifles, 9 kilograms of methamphetamine, and more than 5 kilograms of fentanyl, nearly 4 kilograms of cocaine, and more than a kilogram of heroin, plus $342,000 in suspected drug trafficking proceeds.
These photos taken during search warrants tied to the arrests, but the investigation dates back over track these suspects.
Some of the details from the arrests are particularly disturbing. Aaron Knapp, a 52-year-old Everett, was found with more than 2 kilograms of fentanyl pills when they searched his residence. John Hardman, 57, also from Everett, had a brick of suspected fentanyl powder stamped with swastikas plus $50,000 in cash. A swastika stamped on a fentanyl brick. That tells you everything you need to know about the kind of people that we're dealing with. These aren't just drug dealers. They're trafficking poison marked with hate symbols. Jose Felix German, a 34-year-old Mexican citizen, was also arrested with a 9mm pistol. He had been deported from the U.S. to Mexico in 2013, but was back, guess what, illegally, working as a money courier and co-conspirator. This is what happens when we don't have secure borders. Deported criminals just come right back and resume their operations. This case is part of Operation Take Back America, President Trump's nationwide initiative that marshals the full resources of the Justice Department to eliminate cartels and transnational criminal organizations. This is exactly the kind of coordinated approach we need to dismantle these type of networks.
Of the 19 people arrested, 7 were U.S. citizens or residents, including 52-year-old Aaron Knapp and 57-year-old John Hardman. Both are from Everett, and both are charged with conspiracy and possession of controlled substances with the intent to distribute.
The charges in this case carry some serious prison time. Due to the massive amount of drugs involved, some defenders face mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years in prison. To me, that's a little short, but that's a start of accountability for people who were poisoning American communities. The Special DA Seattle Field Division put it perfectly. This Sinaloa cartel-affiliated drug trafficking group brought misery and death to our community. The work of the DEA and our partners seized hundreds of pounds of methamphetamine and fentanyl from this group that could have yielded a staggering 6.9 million lethal doses. The fact that this investigation involved wiretaps and took over 18 months shows the level of sophistication required to take down some of these networks. You can't just arrest street dealers. You have to dismantle the entire organization from the Mexican cartel leaders down to the local distributors. America, this bust perfectly illustrates why we need President Trump's tough approach on cartels and border security. The Sinaloa cartel wasn't just smuggling drugs across the border. They had established a permanent distribution network in Washington state that was killing thousands of Americans every single year. The Camargo brothers were illegal immigrants worked together to poison Washington communities. They were using semi-trucks, commercial flights, and sophisticated distribution networks to flood the Pacific Northwest with enough fentanyl to kill millions of people. Washington state now has the fourth highest increase in overdose deaths in America, with fentanyl involved in 76% of all overdose deaths. That's not an accident. Wow. That is a direct result of cartel operations like this one we just dismantled. The good news is that 19 people are now behind bars. The network that was bringing 6.9 million lethal doses of fentanyl into Washington has been destroyed. But this is just one operation. The cartels have similar networks operating in cities across America. That is why we need to treat cartels like the terrorist organizations they are. When you're killing hundreds of thousands of Americans a year with fentanyl, you deserve to be hunted down with the full force of American military and intelligence capabilities. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you very much. We'll be on here tonight. You guys are lucky if you guys come through, because not many people are here. In the future, it's not going to be like that, because I'm going to have him here exclusively on the show on Thursdays. So he'll be on here and he can interact with the chat, and a lot of his people could come over to my channel and probably boost up these numbers, because he has 104,000 subscribers. So I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna be a leech. Nah, we're good friends, and he's very good people, and we get along, and we flow good. So I'm excited for night, and it's gonna be a good show, and it's gonna be on for like almost like 2 hours. Holy shit, that's gonna be good. That's you don't see Tyson live, even in his channel. He doesn't go live on his channel. He used to. He did, but I think he had like stopped like 4 months ago doing that. And I was always in his chat. So, so I know a lot of the people in the chat. So maybe you have to bring them over here. And then I'm like, sorry for those who, you know, didn't come early and didn't participate early. You know, it's okay. Once this chat room gets crazy, it's going to be hard to like follow through and follow up, especially if I have Tyson in here and I have people that want to communicate with him, because they really do like watching Tyson De La Cruz. He's very good at reporting. And the fact that I have him on here brings a smile to my face. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I'm going to be wrapping up the show now. I got to get going. Oh, man, goodness. I got to go get my cats some cookies. We call them cookies. I don't call them treats. My cats don't know what treats mean, because they never was taught with that word. That word was forbidden. If you've been on my channel, you would know that. I call them cookies. So when I say you want cookies, they run. They run like the Flash. Oh man, and it's funny, you know. And we get them some good cookies. So I gotta go purchase some, because they're running low on what they like, and it's time to re-up today. So I'm gonna go pick up some treats for them and some goodies, and have some dinner, early dinner, and then I'm gonna get ready for tonight's show, and I'll be on here 7:30 sharp, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. I think we're gonna talk about everything, anything, and everything. I don't know what conversation is gonna spark. It's gonna be so like it's nothing scripted, right? Everything is gonna be so natural and just free flowing. And I like conversations that's like that, non-scripted. Like the media is like super scripted, you know? They can't really show their emotions. They can't really show like, and then the Democrats are just so weird. Why the Democrats are so fucking weird? I don't get it. I don't like what's going on. Like seriously, like why they're so opposite? Like if we all went to the school, like we went to school together and we got educated the same way, our brains should be a certain way. So what made that brain like be manipulated? Like how do we have our brains manipulated to be wired to the right or to the left? It's like I'm more right than I am anywhere left. I just can't understand the left at all anymore. It's just like it's beyond comprehension now. It's getting to like ludicrous speed. You know what ludicrous speed is? Is Spaceballs. Gotta go watch it. It's a good movie. I can't wait for part 2 to come out. But there is a part 2 coming out. That's crazy. We're in ludicrous speed with the Democratic Party and with the energy. So man, I just want things to get better, but the world is just going crazy, and it's going to continue to go crazy. And we're definitely attracting something our way with the energy we're projecting every single day, especially that negative energy that's just exploding. Literally, like Damascus. That's so sad. 25 people dead, 80 people injured, 30 people critical. That's it hurts your stomach, you know? It's like getting kicked in the stomach. That's how I feel. Like that sucks. But I'll be back on tonight, 7:30 with Tyson De La Cruz. I'll end up probably starting the show and stuff by myself, and then probably watch a little something, and then he'll come on in when he's ready, and then I'll do a like Tyson. Yeah, that's funny. Oh man. Yeah. Well, have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night. And I'll catch you on the flip side. And just be sure to be here tonight. You know, I'm telling you right now, it's quiet now. It's not going to be quiet later. And I keep warning you guys and keep telling you, it's like, look, the channel's going to change and Tyson's going to be on here a little bit more. You know, first we're starting off like once a week. You know, every Thursday we're going to be doing this. And then there's going to be a time that we're going to add 2 times a week. And then it's going to be like very interactive, and it's going to be pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to it. So with that said, continue having a good day. I'll see you tonight at 7:30. I am out. Peace.